it's almost like them inviting somebody here to say you don't need us.
Kind of like a slap in the face.
Yeah, kind of. Not really slap in the face because you're asking for it. You're telling them to come here. But I get it. I just don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You don't even know what he's gonna talk about. He might come there and say, like B said, you have one step up on me. I did this without college, but it was extremely hard to get where I am. You guys already have the education. You've been doing the education. So you might be able to get to where I am faster, and you might surpass me. So who knows? Diddy is, yeah, he has a pass. Who fucking doesn't? Let the man speak. I don't see the big deal. I really just plain don't.
Dead in hip hop conversations. Dead in hip hop conversations. Here with Night Wonder. What's good, homie? Peace to the A. Dead in hip hop.
For those of you that don't know, Diddy attended Howard University, dropped out, and to pursue his career in music. Served as an intern under Andre Harrell, right? Yeah. So yeah, but he did attend Howard for 2 years, and he dropped out. And if you don't know Diddy, then something's wrong. But for this year, they've invited him to come back to give a commencement speech to all the graduates, and people seem to be split 50-50 on whether or not he should speak. What you think, B? Should they let Diddy speak? You got a problem with that?
I mean, I don't see what's the big deal. I mean, I guess they looking at it as like, well, damn, you came here, you didn't even graduate. What you doing talking to our graduate students and you didn't even graduate yourself? But I think, he's a successful businessman. I mean, I think that's good to have him talk and I guess share some light on the future the now graduate students, how they can pursue their careers. I mean, maybe he might tell them, look, y'all got a one leg up on the game more than I did. You know, when I dropped out of college, I didn't have that same, that college degree or that education that y'all probably getting right now. So maybe he was dropping some knowledge on them for him. I don't see what's the issue of the kids coming, him speaking to the kids. I mean, what's the difference of having someone that graduated that ain't doing shit, that's not successful? You gonna have, you know what I'm saying, that graduating college but not doing nothing successful. Not saying Diddy's successful, but just, just doing good with themselves in general. What's the difference if you got someone that graduated from college to speak to your college students? So I don't see what's the big deal about it. I don't know why people are so up in arms about Diddy speaking. I mean, I don't look at him as like promoting like all drugs and violence type of guy or gang or anything like that. He's just a successful business guy, man. That went from like you said, from interning with Andre Harrell to being almost close to billionaire. So, and having all these different business ventures. So I don't see what's the issue about Diddy. I don't know if this is another way to blame hip hop. If every time someone that's affiliated with hip hop doing something, we don't want it. Because he's affiliated with hip hop. So I don't know if that's the issue, but I don't have an issue with it, me personally.
For me, I think that when you're talking to students and graduates and people like that, the fact that he didn't finish college, I could see people feeling some type of way about that. But like you said, if you don't know Diddy, then you don't almost live in America. Like, you don't know pop culture. Diddy is an icon. Somebody that's so successful, somebody that has been a visionary, somebody to say, you know what? Maybe this is not what I need to do right now because I have this vision and I'm gonna follow my instinct. And I think that as a graduate, regardless of whatever you get your degree in, sometimes you need to buck the trend. You know what I'm saying? And some of the greatest minds in America have done that because sometimes you don't need the system to benefit you. Sometimes you're like, you know what, F you, I know what I have to do, and just go do it. And Diddy has always been a doer. Diddy has always been somebody to push an envelope when he thought he could push it. You know what I'm saying? He did it. He hasn't always been successful. Like, you have to fail. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you do is not gonna be a success, but he has multiple successes. And I think that for people to, the majority, or even being split 50-50, I don't think that's fair to him because it's kind of like you're undermining his accomplishments. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he is a businessman, very successful, and you can never take that away. Just like you can never take away somebody's education, you cannot take away what Diddy has been able to accomplish in his life.
What's the guy that created Facebook, Mark? Has he spoke at any graduation? That's what, he dropped out of college too.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. So it's
Yeah,
like, why
that's what I'm
would
saying.
you be up in arms about, you know, someone, you know, Diddy that's successful that didn't graduate college, where you got you know what, Steve Jobs was like one of the richest guys in the world, and he dropped out of college. Mark Zimmer, whatever his name is, Zuckerberg, shit. Thanks. Right, the guy from Facebook, he didn't drop out, and you got him speaking at colleges and stuff, probably at Harvards and stuff like that in Princeton. So what's the issue with Diddy? That's
You know,
that's
the
my
argument
thing.
would be that it's almost like a false equivalency between the two, in the sense that, yeah, they did drop out, and I think Steve Jobs have given commencement speeches, but the products that they put out are not detrimental to society the way hip hop or some of the stuff that
What do you mean?
Right, because what?
Not detrimental to
But,
society?
yeah, they're saying that they created products, like he created a computer, he created Facebook, so they're not personally out there spewing negative lyrics towards women and you know, just all of the negative stuff that people look at in hip hop. You know, Diddy has a violent past, right? But people are looking at hip hop itself, right? The violence in hip hop and the stuff that's associated with hip hop, right? So they're saying that he's a part of this culture,
That puts out that, yeah.
right, that puts out content that's not overly positive. So you're inviting this guy in who's made money off of
The negative
aspects of black culture, right? And now here he's coming to the speech. Whereas with Steve Jobs, all he did was create a computer.
That makes sense. Even though I still think this is one of the dumbest stories out there right now. But what you're saying absolutely makes sense. I get it. You know, Diddy is worth $500 million for all the different ventures he has. But I can understand them saying, well, we don't want him coming to speak here. One, because it's almost like saying you don't need us. You know what I mean? College-wise. Like, you coming here being a college dropout and now being the richest entertainer, black music entertainer in the world.
Probably the richest alumni that they've had. The richest alumni.
Yeah.
Even though he's technically not
he's
one,
not
but
technically, but the richest that they've ever had. I could see if it was Gucci. You know, that was a different situation. Gucci was still currently throwing chicks out of cars.
Right.
yeah.
I still love you, Gucci.
Out of what?
Out of cars. Alright? But Diddy is not doing that anymore. Diddy is a legitimate businessman. Let him tell his story. I don't see the big deal. When I read this story, I thought it was fucking stupid.
Yep, I was like, wow. And when they like who was like protesting against him? Like, was it just people? It was the students.
Yeah, students,
Yeah,
alums. Yeah. I didn't even know it was a story. I remember when I saw the headline, Diddy to speak. I was, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I just glanced over it, and then, you know, all of a sudden I started to see articles pop up. You know, I think the president was on Tom Joyner talking about it. That's when I first caught wind of it. I'm like,
really?
damn, because
Wait, Obama?
no, not the president of the United States.
Yeah, I
I was like, time out, that motherfucker. He ain't got nothing else to do.
I know what you mean. When he said the president, I already knew he was.
Yeah, the president, from Howard. He's on there, and one of the things that I thought was kind of ridiculous was, you know, they were like, well, has he cut a check? You know, has he donated to, you know, Howard? Yeah, and it was like, well, you know, if he donated, you know, it'd be cool if he spoke, you know, with the donation. Yeah, that was
Just like
kind
some
of
black folks.
Yeah.
Give us some money and we'll ignore everything else that we're against. That's really fucking
And I think it was Tom Joyner that asked. Tom Joyner was like, well, no, that was Tom Joyner. Tom Joyner was like, well, how big was his donation? You know, so that kind of
how big is his influence, man?
Exactly.
How big is his influence on black people in general?
Exactly.
Oh, this guy's done. But I mean, fuck hip hop.
Yeah,
Fuck hip hop
yeah.
on black businessmen.
Yep, that's
because a
true.
lot of
That's
his
true.
money really doesn't have that much to do with hip hop anymore.
No,
This dude
you're
is
right.
in everything.
Right.
And you're asking how big is the check?
Yeah.
Tom Joyner, you come on, man. I understand, like, if Diddy went to that school, yeah, give back. But you basing not your entire opinion, but you basing a lot of your opinion on how much his check was? Come on, dude, that's embarrassing.
I'm cool with it, man. I think, you know, just like you said, B, here's a guy that did it the hard way, man. He pursued his dreams, and if you look at those students that are pursuing their dreams, right? They made it this far. They're graduating. Here's a guy who's going to come out and tell you, you know, and just kind of inspire you. you know, that and say that you can do it. Like people and you guys have already said, and you, Mike, it's like you guys, you know, have the advantage over me. You know, I had to learn on the job. You know, it was on the job training for me, and you guys don't have to go through that. And you know, back to kind of what you were saying, like his influence, Mike, is, you know, people talk about him as a marketing genius, right? That's business. You know what I'm saying? That's not some guy that's in hip hop. To get to where he's gotten, he had to have a level of business savvy. He has to learn how to market and stuff. This is stuff that people teach.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
at Howard, the Black Harvard as they call it. So yeah, man, let the guy speak, because there is something positive that he can bestow upon those students. Now, if they don't want him to come there though, you know, what do you do then? You know, if the students are holding these rallies or whatever they're doing, if they don't want him to come, what, like, do you still bring him out? I didn't even know.
If you were Diddy, would you still go, even though the students themselves were protesting, they wasn't feeling it? You know what I'm saying? If you were Diddy, would you still go and do your thing, or would you like gracefully bow out? Because, you know, it's like, y'all invited me, but your audience isn't accepting me. Like,
I wouldn't go anywhere I'm not wanted.
Shit.
You know.
you would still go?
Hell yeah, I'd still go.
wouldn't.
I would still go, and I would prove you wrong. Yeah, I would still go. I understand what you're saying. Don't go where you're not wanted, but at the same time, it's bigger than that. Like, you guys don't want me there for something that you don't understand. You're not really looking into what I do. You're basing your opinion off of hip hop as a whole.
Yeah.
And I had a small piece of that. But what I'm doing now is business. And like he said, this is what you guys teach, and this is what you guys want to know. I have the knowledge. So you're going to tell me that, oh, I can't speak to you, I can't give you my knowledge because I was in jail at one point? So we don't listen to Malcolm X no more, huh? Come on, man. Not comparing, before y'all get stupid, not comparing Diddy to Malcolm X. I'm just saying, like,
You can still be something.
You
Like,
can still be
jail doesn't
something.
make you,
Right.
You know, even Judge Mathis, and I know I'm going way over here, but you know, he's a judge now.
Right.
And he had a troubled past. A troubled past doesn't
make
mean-
a troubled future.
Exactly, and it's not who
like
who
Mike
you are
said,
today.
everybody got skeletons in their closet. I mean, everybody got a past. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just really judge and just throw it off of there just off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that just don't make no sense to me. I don't understand why.
It's been played since, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, Stephen A. Smith says it all the time. America is the land of second opportunities. You know, and
He hasn't really needed a second opportunity though.
Hey,
Really,
yeah.
He was fired from his first job.
Yeah.
At whatever. Whatever fucking-
Andre Harrell.
They fired him, and then he had to go back and figure out how to get back in the game. Like,
yeah.
he was like the epitome of
He had to
second
start from
chances.
scratch all over again, man.
And he did it.
And he did it,
And you
yeah.
don't want him to come tell your students how he did that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a big story there, and especially, you know, like taking one of the best hip hop artists and actually marketing that. You know what I'm saying? That in a time where you had the internet, you didn't
Right.
like it was
That's a good
not
point.
easy to get that notoriety from a spitter from New York, where there's abundance of spitters.
You really had to work.
Exactly, you really had to work.
work.
You had to have a vision.
Yeah.
You had to get the team in place,
And then you had a golden era, like in that
exactly,
time, yeah.
exactly. So it was not easy. And when I was talking about hip hop, that's what I was thinking. I was just thinking the business of Biggie, like, because without Diddy, there would be no Biggie. We've all acknowledged that, and that's real big. And I think Diddy does have to get the credit for that. He has to get a big piece of the credit for that, because he crafted Biggie, man. He gave it to y'all.
He didn't just craft Biggie. He crafted that maneuver.
Yeah,
Of
He
making
set a
a
trend.
street rapper, you know, introducing him in a different way and marketing him a different way. Like, I just think the whole thing is silly. Like I said, I understand certain aspects of this guy didn't graduate, so why is he speaking at our commencement? He's there to give you a different perspective. He's there to give you a real life perspective. Because a lot of people that you work for, they may not have been graduates. They might be some street dude that just turned his life around. You can't just hear from people that are just like you. You need to learn about people that aren't like you.
And to piggyback off you, shit, Diddy might want to hire one of y'all graduates.
Exactly.
Right.
So
$500 million.
exactly. So if I'm a graduate, Diddy, come on, man. And if I'm going into like if my degree was business or something like that, yeah, Diddy, me right there. Let me go because I might be working for you where I can climb that ladder and be the next $500 million person. You know what I'm saying?
And then the other thing too, like how B and Michael really championing the point of having a leg up. When you hear his story, now you can take bits and pieces from that because you learn something completely different. You learn by the book, and now you're getting the street in the grind. So it's like, okay, well, I can take what I've learned, apply it with what I've heard, study Diddy, in his business ventures or whatever he's done, and apply it and mesh both sides. So I think he should. I think it's big. And I think anybody, when you're talking to a business person of that magnitude that has been able to push product in front of millions of people, they have a story, they have something to share with everybody that you can take and apply to your situation in some way, shape, or form.
Regardless of whether if you graduate from college or not, if you inspired by someone that you think you're gonna pursue that type of career, regardless, you're gonna want that knowledge from them.
Yeah.
I bet you if Diddy say, hey, look, to them students that don't want him to speak it, I bet you if he be like, yo, you come to my office, I can give you some knowledge. I bet you their ass gonna walk up in that
I'll give you an intern.
Right.
How many, what's the percentage of that student population will come knocking that Diddy door? Yeah, I need that internship.
I bet you they would. They want that knowledge quick as hell. Talking about they don't want to speak at his college at their graduation. Get out of here with that crap.
All right, so before we wrap up, so let me ask you guys this, because I'm just sitting here to thinking. So, like, everybody seemed to be cool with Gates and Jobs and everybody else, right? What?
You thought you said
Days.
I did too at first. Like, where is your angle now?
But everybody seemed to be cool with them because the product that they're pushing, that they're selling is not hip hop. So is it a step beyond just Diddy? Like, is it Diddy and hip hop, or is it hip hop and just Diddy just a part of hip hop? We don't want that type of, negative culture coming to our school.
Man, look, I said it, I can't remember what review. I said one of the things I hate about hip hop is that when people that aren't in the culture, you say hip hop, it automatically has a negative connotation. And I think that this is one of those examples where you say hip hop, they automatically think the worst. And it's not always the worst, because there is a bad side of it, there's a good side of it, and there's a business side of it. And fortunately for Diddy, he's probably encompassed all of it. And he has all of that knowledge that he can share to you. Because think about it, somebody that has that level of success, he just doesn't have the time. You see what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't just have time to talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. I'm making time to speak to you, so you should take the time to really listen to all of this stuff that almost everybody in this world does not have. Like the type of experience he has is only a select few people. And if you have any inclination of going into business, music, whatever, you should listen to Diddy, man. He has something to say that is because we're not talking like the most ratchet guy. Like, he is very well spoken, he is articulate, he can, the man has done Broadway. The man has done Broadway, man.
Movies.
Come on. He has something to say that you can take.
I think this is silly. I think the whole thing is silly. Diddy, do your thing. Speak to them students. And Howard, y'all should be ashamed of yourself for not wanting that had a successful man speak at y'all college and draw some knowledge. So I just think it's silly.
I don't understand. Diddy definitely has value. Whether you like his career, whether you like him as a person or not, I think it's pretty undeniable that he has a certain level of experience that very few people possess in any arena, business, entertainment, music, acting. Like, come on, Diddy was in Carlito's Way. Like, Diddy has done a lot of stuff. The remake. Howard, you guys should really be accepting of this guy and just listen to what he has to say, because hip-hop isn't always negative, and stop making those negative connotations.
I didn't know this was a story until it became a story, man. I just thought it was this was just Diddy going to speak at Howard, for a commencement speech. When I saw it, I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. Very successful. Went to Howard, even though he dropped out. And then I kind of, started to catch wind of it, and I was like, okay, yeah, he did drop out, and then he's speaking to graduates, and I can see how that can be a little bit problematic. But, at the same time, like you guys reiterated what I said earlier, he has a wealth of knowledge and experience that he can style on those students, and that they can take and walk away with. More importantly, I think the work ethic, that he can tell them, like, this wasn't easy. And when you guys leave, it's not going to be easy for you. You've had to work to get to this point to where you're sitting here listening to me, but now you're gonna have to take it up another level. You're gonna have to take it up another notch. And if you want to be successful, you want to, whatever career path you're on, you know, then, you know, it's gonna take hard work. And, you know, so that's it. I think it's much ado about nothing. A lot of people just kicking and screaming, and you know, there are negative connotations that's associated with hip hop. And I think people kind of take issue with that. But let the man speak. Let the man speak. I think he's earned that right. So,
to be honest, I just find this to be one of the most uninteresting stories that we've ever talked about on the show. I just think this is just, it's not that big of a deal. Whether or not he speaks is one thing, but the whole fact of the matter is their reasoning for this, I just don't think it doesn't hold a lot of water. You know, it's just silly. Yeah, it's just silly. You know, like everyone here has said, the guy has a wealth of knowledge that he learned on his own. I don't think he's gonna walk up in there and say, hey, all y'all niggas, why y'all waste your time with school? You know, I went and got my education out of school, fuck bitches, and then just walk off the stage.
Get money.
Fuck bitches, get money. He's going to give your students jewels that they may not have right now. I can't remember which one of y'all said it, but you know, this is something that business is taught at your school by teachers that are teaching it from a certain angle. Diddy is gonna give you that same type of knowledge, but from a different angle. So why would you be upset? I mean, I guess because it's a commencement speech. I guess if he was just coming to the school to speak at something else, it wouldn't be a big deal, but he's speaking at a commencement. So I kind of get it, but at the same time, I just don't think this is that big of a deal. I don't think it should be front page news. I think even if they don't want you there, Diddy, go and prove to them why they're wrong. Prove to them why you deserve to speak and why people should listen to you. And that's it. Stop being so fucking judgmental. Stop thinking that everything that has to do with hip hop, just because somebody is a rapper, that they're automatically negative. But last thing, at the same time, I will say I respect the students for standing up for what they believe in. If you guys don't agree with what you think is somebody's ethics, I respect the fact that you guys stood up and said something. That's one thing that a lot of us black people do not do. As we discussed earlier with y'all's little basketball team. I like the fact that they don't want Diddy there, and they decided to stand up and say, we don't want Diddy there. So I see both sides, but at the same time, I think you guys are robbing yourself of a really big chunk of knowledge.
Just as long as he don't go in there and talk about, these are roaches.
Roaches, all y'all are roaches.
Roaches, you supreme beings right now. If you don't do that, you're all right.
No, he can do that.
He can do that too.
Y'all need to see through what he says and take the positives from it. Yeah, he might be a little harsh on you, but hey, what parent isn't hard on their kids sometimes?